Welcome to the next presentation of today's Defense and Security Conference hosted by MWB Research. We are pleased to introduce Secunet Security Networks presented by CFO Jessica Nospers. And I'm pretty sure we will learn a lot of more details about the equity story of Secunet presented by Ms. Nospers. And I don't want to take too much time. A few housekeeping notes from my side. The presentation will take 20 minutes, followed by a 10-minute Q&A session, and we will record this event to make it available afterwards on Research Hub. So please feel free to submit your question via the chat window at the bottom right of your screen, and we will answer all the questions during the Q&A session. And now, let's dive in. Ms. Nospers, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Nospers. I'm the CFO of Secunet Security Networks, both the AG and the group. I'm happy to welcome you to this quick session where I'm pleased to introduce myself and also Secunet, certainly. Click, dear Stephanie. So Secunet is a company that was founded in 1997. It has more than 1,000 employees, currently roughly 1,100 FTE plus round about 100 people working here from time to time, particularly students. We have 12 locations in Germany. We have more than 500 customers, and we are listed in the SDAX. Our product portfolio is basically or mainly comprising of IT cybersecurity solutions for the public sector, so not so much for the private sector. Our footprint is, let's say, 90 public, 10% industry sector, and I think we have a good footprint in also military and defense. Military and defense applications. So public authority, as said, is our target markets, as well as defense and space. We also work for border control, and this is, let's say, the divisions that make up our segment. Public. Also, we have a business segment which is comprised of e-health and industry, utilities, and mobilities. And we are focusing in the industry. We focus on the so-called KRITIS companies. So companies that are comprising the critical infrastructure in Germany. We have a broad customer base, particularly in the public sector. So the BME, BWE, all, let's say, German, or a lot of German ministries, Ministry of the Interior and Defense Ministry as the main or one of our main customers. But we are also, let's say, working for tax authorities in Bavaria. We are working for the Deutsche Rentenversicherung, so the German official pension fund. We have a lot of customers in these areas, but also some industry customers from, for example, the automotive sector. Next page, please. Or is there any questions? Is there any questions so far? I don't think so. Okay, nobody says something in the chat, I guess. Okay, so basically the public sector, which might be of more interest for you for the defense and space industry, is the Zena product family. We have Zena workstations who have high-end end-to-end encryption, and you can work, so to say, in certain containers, so that you can have a container for all your different applications. So if I presumably work in Windows, my, let's say, my whole life, or the most of the time. But if you have a secret documents to work on, that you can open up in a different container, and the containers do not have a link to each other, and so it's a very safe way to work with secret documents. And that is most of what our Zena product family is capable doing. We have ruggedized laptops for defense and military. We have L2 and L3 boxes for end-to-end encryption when you are in a defense situation and you want to have an entire network safe. You use these boxes. Then we have the so-called clients, which is comparable to a Mac. It looks like a huge monitor, but it has all the techniques inside. We have very nice RW14 laptops, which look, I think, very, very nice, but they're very heavy, they're ruggedized, they are also radiation safe. So we have a lot of applications or a lot of products that can be used in defense, but also in space. We have some messenger systems. We are currently, or we have brought to the market an Android solution for mobile end devices. Certainly, there's a lot of consulting services, and we are currently providing the first fully approved sovereign cloud in Germany. We're very happy to be the only company that has a full approval for this cloud. And we are certainly using the technology to enhance and expand our portfolio and, let's say, cloudify a lot of the products that we currently have. That is something that we are working on for the future. We have a completely approved post-quantum crypto portfolio. So I think in the NATO and the EU, it's not allowed to work with not post-quantum crypto stuff from 2030 onwards, but we have already done the deal for the last, I think, 3 years. We have a fully approved end-to-end secret classified portfolio. In the business sector also, we do e-health with the TI connector, which is referring to the telematic infrastructure. So we are providing parts of the infrastructure that is necessary to kind of ensure end-to-end encrypted communication between pharmacies and doctors and clinics and all that stuff. That is an important portfolio part. And in industry, we are basically working with IoT solutions. We also provide Zena workstations for industry use. I think it is very attractive if you do not only have things that are officially classified as secret documents, but also, let's say, if you have interesting IP products and you want to kind of make sure that nobody is looking into your IP and you need a proper end-to-end encrypted communication, and also the possibility to work on things without having, let's say, the danger of a virus um, um, killing your systems. You will always be safe with the Zena Workstation solution. Yes, next page, please. So the highlights in 2024 is, as I said, our Zena Cloud is approved for classified information. All 3 approvals are basically there since, I think, the first quarter of 2025. In 24, we had 2 of 3 steps of approval, which is nice. So I think the basic modules are approved separately, and now we have all 3 that we need. We have brought to the market the Zena Mobile, which is also for Android telephones or mobile phones. It's an application that also makes sure that you have the end-to-end classifications. We got our high-speed connector 2.0 for the eHealth approved. And we are working with strong partners. For example, CGI is the partner that we're working with to work with NATO. Next page, please. Yeah, the financial highlights. We have the 11th consecutive annual sales record. So our sales are growing and growing the last 11th year. So basically, they are growing since 1997, but sometimes you also have a delay or a little dip. But for 11 years, we did not have a platform or a dip in sales. Then we reached our goal of more than 400 million sales. We have shown continuous growth in the public sector and also a strong increase in the international business. Sometimes a little bit difficult to see from the reporting classification what is national, what is international. For example, all our NATO sales are basically international sales, but as we are pursuing them through a partner, they are shown as national sales in the financial statements. We have an EBIT of 42.5 million, and we are going to pay out a dividend per share of 2.73 euro. At least that is proposed for the general shareholders assembly, which is taking place next week. But as we have quite a strong majority shareholder with a shareholding of more than slightly more than 75%. So this is basically, I guess, what we are going to, what is going to be approved next week. 40% cash inflow and roughly 1,100 permanent employees. Next page, please. I think it's a little bit, I mean, it's for your information, but we are here showing again that we are the most successful crypto solution made in Germany. Very popular within the business, the public sector. It's a holistic IT security system ensuring the protection of the entire digital infrastructure. We are not only successful in Germany, but also abroad. There are 25 governments who are securing their communication with SINA, 11 ministries of foreign affairs, and almost 200,000 installations. Next page. This is our SINA portfolio. On the left, you see this wonderful SINA mobile application. Then you see our a regular SINA workstation. Below the SINA workstation, you see the ruggedized RW14, which is, let's say, a computer that you can use somewhere in the desert in a military situation. And if somebody tries or sits next to you and tries to get any radiation, any signal, it is impossible to do so. So you can within a difficult situation, you are able to securely communicate over this device. It's also, you can put it in the sun, you can put it in ice. It is, sand, water, whatever. It is very heavy though. It is almost 18 kilo, but I think everything comes at a price, and it is very helpful in military situations, so to say. Then you see the client, which is the monitor you see above. You see, I think this is also some a monitor that we use as a, let's say, bigger solution comparable, let's say, to the other ones before. It's also radiation safe and to a certain way ruggedized. Then you see the communicator, that is the telephone, and down in the middle, that is the telephone that the chancellor uses to speak with head of state somewhere abroad. It's fully end-to-end encrypted, and it meets somewhere, I guess, in the deep sea. It meets the fully encrypted telephones of the head of or the president of America somewhere in the ocean. There is the boxes on the left that are securing networks and a few other applications that are, let's say, securing networks. One is a box that you use for a single network, and the one down on the right side, second to the right, is the installation that you would use in a rack, so to say. Next page. Here we see some other products. I think the second one to the left is the eHealth connector. If you go to the doctor and to your doctor's office, and you sometimes go to the room where you can see their IT infrastructure, it is actually a part of the infrastructure. I could see it in my doctor's office lately, so to say. So I was very proud to be able to see in my own doctor's office the box that is securing safe transport of information. Then you see the EasyGate. That is an application that you will find in almost every airport in Germany and very many airports in Europe. In Düsseldorf, for example, it is not fully branded. It is, I think, always owned by the airport, operated by the Bundespolizei, so the federal police, and it ensures easy passing through not only customs, but through the regular controls with your identity card. Then you see a few applications. Also, the border control stuff is a very important part of our portfolio. And there was a little delay because I think there's two things. First of all, if you and I want to travel abroad and showing our passports, it is a very easy and safe way to get through border control. But at the same time, if you are living abroad and not a member of the European Union, you are only allowed to stay in the Schengen area for a certain period of time, let's say 3 months with a tourist visum. But it is so far not so easy to detect if somebody kind of stays longer than these 3 months, because you do not have a proper entry exit control system. We are very well equipped to provide all governments with these entry exit systems. Unfortunately, last year in November it should go live, the entire system, but it was postponed for reasons beyond our control. Also a very nice product. Next page, please. Okay, another few highlights from Q1 25. We have increased revenue compared to prior year. We have a very good EBIT and EBITDA improvement. Still, we do not think that this year is going to get much better than or at least we do not have any indication that the year is going to be much better than we forecasted for this year. We have by the end of Q1, we have a high order backlog of 202 million, roughly about the level of prior year, plus 20 million in sales, which shows us that our target of 425 million for this year is within reach. Nevertheless, due to the fact that the German government has just constituted and the ministries have just been rolled out, we do not have any indication that it is going to be much better. So let's see what the rest of the year brings. As you might know, our company is a very, very seasonal business. Usually, one of the months between September and December brings in, let's say, 60-70% of our results. So we have very, very frequented last quarter, sometimes always to September. I know that you analyst guys always look into a fourth quarter growth. I'm always happy if I do have a growth in the third quarter or maybe in the second quarter. I'm not super happy about fourth quarter growth because there is kind of a natural limit of what we can do, and growing an organization just for 1 month in the year doesn't make any sense. So I would wish for, let's say, less profound seasonal pattern, and let's say a little bit more spreading to let's say 6 months instead of 2 or 3 months. It would be much easier to organize from within. Next page, please. Financial outlook. I can confirm the financial outlook, but as I said before, it is not a lot of indications there that it is going to be hugely better than expected. Next page, please. I think there's a lot of financial pages. I think I talked for let's say 20-25 minutes now, and I think I should give you some time to ask your questions. I see that there are some questions popping up. So where shall I start with answering questions?
I will order the
Moderated. Thank you.
question a little bit. So, thank you for the insight, for the quick and for the brief overview of Seconet. And actually, there are some questions which occurred already, and it seemed that there is someone already quite familiar with your business. So I would start with the first one. How scalable are you expecting Zena Cloud could be, and how quick will the rollout be?
Yeah, it depends a little bit. So we are ready, but I think there is a big mismatch between what is, let's say, publicly announced and what is really done. If I see what bids are expected to come to the markets, the potential is not fully there. We are prepared. We are hoping for more bids in the future. But I think what, let's say, public authorities sometimes state and what they actually do, there is some mismatch, and we are actually waiting for big proposals to come to the market.
Yeah, Zena Cloud go-to-market strategy. direct contact with end clients or through partners?
Sorry, what is through partners or end clients?
The Sina Cloud. How do you plan to roll it out? What is the market entry strategy? Is it more with a direct sales approach, or do you do it with partners?
It depends a little bit. So we are working with a direct sales approach currently, but there might also be the opportunity to work with partners. But we are still working on that. You see, it depends also a little bit. Or not a little bit, but it depends very much on what projects are going to come to the market. No? Are we able to provide the full scope of it, or is it only a portion of it? And what do they expect? There's also a lot of discussions about multi-cloud, and we are also very happy to support multi-cloud because we do not have the we do not focus on, let's say, the regular cloud business. We are not Amazon, we are not Azure, or we are not the Azure cloud. We are very different from these cloud solutions. I think it's also we are really focusing on this digital sovereign part. So if you want to have a high performance zero service cloud that you can buy off the shelf, that would be more easy to get from Amazon or from Microsoft. But if you want to have a cloud that is tailored to your solutions and that is also, classified or has a classification grade of secret to top secret, we are the ones you need to talk to. So we are really much focusing on the public segments, and also their needs are different. Sometimes maybe for some of their a business, they need a regular, very high performance zero service cloud, but some of them, they need to have tailored for their applications and also tailored for the classification grade, so to say. So it depends very much on what is coming to the market, if we want to do it alone or if we want to do it with a partner. And we have been always successful in doing both. Also there are some projects that we gained that we are working on with partners, either as the general or the sub. So both is possible for us, and we are happy to see what's coming to the market and then start discussions.
There's been many discussions about the new state budgets. Do you expect, or is there a general expectation, how much of these budgets are going to cybersecurity spendings?
I have no idea. Seriously, I really cannot tell how much there will be. And there is these special funds. There's also very much in the dark, and I also think that the authorities themselves do not currently know how the funds are going to be allocated. So I guess we all need to be a little bit more patient. But we are certainly always in discussions. With the government, with the people that we know, and but so far no information, no proper information on that.
From a customer perspective, are you seeing increased demand from NATO or NATO partners for your solutions?
I would say yes. I think NATO. We are very proud to work with NATO and to deliver to them. It took us years to build up a stable relationship, and now we see that this relationship pays out. So yes, we are very proud working with them, and yes, we see increased demand, but also that is within the regular. So they are not free to hire whoever they want. They also go for offers, so to say, and then we are always applying.
Yeah. Also, a question regarding the NATO, but also the other business areas, international markets. There's always the aim to take market share. Will you be possible, or do you see the chance to gain market shares?
Yes, always. No, so I think there is the chance to gain market share in Germany, but also within Europe or abroad.
Perfect. A quite short question, but a precise one. How profitable are the border control solutions?
We are not talking about the profitability of single products.
Okay. Thanks a lot. And then your margins are way below historic levels for years now. You have invested, you have investments ongoing. Could you provide investors a horizon when to expect an uplift in the margins?
Um, yeah, I think that is a questions that I get quite frequently, but I think you need to um, differ or make a differentiation between what you would expect. If I look into the margins of the years 2020, 2021, these are margins that are very much um, impacted from the profits from the corona. You know, that was, let's say, I wouldn't say it was a windfall, but it was a very particular situation where a lot of public authorities realized that they were not up to work from home, so to say. So they bought a lot of equipment for it. So this is a very particular. These were very particular years, and you will not see these margin again in a regular year that is not very particular. Um, it is very difficult for me to answer these questions. I would prefer rather tomorrow than a day later to have higher margins, but it is very much depending on the tenders that come to the market for cloud, you know. And if the tender levels that are, so I see currently tenders for with a total contract volume of maybe 25 million, 30 million, and so it is not a huge it is not that big share that we would have expected from, you know, from the demand. You know, when you see the demand, it is billions usually. You can see it in the Gartner studies. You can see it in the very many studies that also only the public segment, I'm not talking about the private segment, is expected to have a huge demand in cloud. But still, they need to, let's say, maybe go a certain distance to be able to give out tenders and bids in the market that are big enough that it is, let's say, extremely profitable. But still, I think we have a very robust margin, and it is not only about cloud. It is also, let's say, how much digitization do we achieve in the next few years in Germany? How open are we within Europe for digital sovereignty? And it is a political question, because everybody is always talking about digital sovereignty, but when it comes to really working with a German company or with European company, it is not so much the discussion anymore. So I would wish to get some more, let's say, political support, and also support from the public, because everybody says, oh, now the question of digital sovereignty in the course of the current geopolitical environment and the Patriot Act, it is super important. I say, yes, it is super important, but I see it much more in the industry. When it comes to paying a price for it, they very often go for the super cheap solution from China. Yeah, and then okay, so we are not a Chinese manufacturer. That is maybe not what we want to be. It is certainly not
Mm,
what we want to be. So it is a difficult question, and I could talk about
I,
it for years. I cannot give
I
you a
see, I see.
proper
Yeah.
frame.
Thank you, Ms. Knospers. As this presentation is part of a full conference, I would like to open the floor for Capney. The event started already in another room, so please take the chance to go on. There are still some questions left here, but we will provide them company with your questions, so you will get a response from the company directly. So thank you, Ms. Knospers, and thank you, Ms.
Thank you very
Kniep, for
much.
your insightful presentation, and thank you everyone for joining our presentation today.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.